Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Hope you're doing well. In this particular session, we will talk about four considerations of a business letter. As you can see, while composing a business letter, there are four things that are essential for us to follow in that particular pattern. So these four areas that you must take into consideration for each business letter are listed below. If you do not consider each one of them, your letter will be ineffective. So information, communication, transaction or business transaction, whatever we want to convey to the recipient or audience will be ineffective and will not allow us to achieve the kind of goal that we want to achieve. First of these four consideration is subject, second one is audience, third one is purpose, and the fourth one is style and organization. Subject. Subject matter is extremely important. Without any subject or any target, you cannot write or you cannot compose a business letter. In order for you to compose any type of writing, you have to have a subject. Every piece of writing, from the business letter to the novel, revolves around a subject. Luckily, in the business world, the subject is usually specific. Quite often, it is supplied for you by someone else, such as a boss, colleague, or demanded by a situation such as hiring or congratulating an employee. So it is a fact that more specific your subject is, the easier for you to compose your letter and write it. For example, let's say that you need to request information about an order that you did not receive or that did not arrive when it should have. So if you are in charge of the account, writing the letter is easy. If you are not an in charge of the account, it is harder for you to write the letter. Rather, it is for the person who knows all the particulars of that particular transaction or that particular order that you place. So regardless of the situation, stick to one or two subject in your letter, including more or two subjects cloud your message. So more subjects would definitely confuse and create a kind of chaotic situation in that particular letter. So write another letter if you have more than two subjects. So for one subject, you have to compose one letter. For instance, if you want to place an order for any consignment, you have to write one letter. But if there is a kind of inquiry related to that, you should write another letter. If you want to acknowledge the receiving of any products, you have to write another letter. But if you want to congratulate or send thank you note, you should write another letter. So for every subject, each subject will have a different title and will have a different letter, which would be based on the themes that you want to explore or you want to compose. So one theme, one subject, one letter would be sufficient for you and for the recipient. Audience is extremely important. Audience is the one to whom you are writing your letter. This area is tricky because you may not know your audience. If you do not if you do, you can easily tailor your letter in that to that particular audience many times. However, your audience is larger than you expect. Your letter may be addressed to Terry Smith, but may be read by several other people in Terry's form to receive the action you wish. If you are unsure of your audience, assume that they are educated, reasonable people until you find otherwise. Don't assume that they have much knowledge of the subject of your letter. As you do, you may overgeneralized or forget to include important details. So all the essential details about you, that particular subject or that particular message which a person who is unaware about the background of the situation should also be able to comprehend that particular theme or that particular subject. So, considering the need of the audience is very important for you to compose. Next point is purpose. So many letters are sent with a specific subject and audience in mind, but not a very clear purpose. Purpose of the letter should be very clear. Know why you are sending this letter. Is the letter to inform? Is it to request information? Is it to offer congratulation? Oh, condolences. Is it to get the recipient to act on a request? All of these are very different purposes. So information is different than requesting an information, and which will be very different from congratulation, and that will be entirely different from condolences. And that if you want to achieve that particular type of target, so you have to have a very clarity of thought in your mind about which you want to compose. So you have probably received a letter that after reading it left you confused because you didn't know exactly what it said. The purpose was unclear. So clarity of thought is extremely important. Last point related to this particular series of consideration is style and organization. The first three areas of the letter are content, direction, and emphasis of the letter. Know what you are writing about, that is subject. Know who you are writing for, that is your audience. Know why you are writing, that is purpose. Know you are ready to be considered with how you are going to compose your letter. The first three areas can be determined in a matter of minutes if you are familiar with the that ideas that need to be communicated. The fourth area, style and organization, takes our more time, and in this particular style and formation, so you have to see that how that particular pattern would be emerged, for which you have to follow all the essential components and 14 points. So most of this book is devoted to the way different types of letters are organized. However, the basic organization for the body of a business letter follows: body, state your purpose. Second one, explain what you want to happen, or explain the information you have. Third one, request a detailed action, conclude or thanks the reader for his or her response. So notice these parts of the section rather than paragraph. So make these three areas of the letters into the body of the letter, where you state your purpose or where you explain the context and the background. And the third one is you want a kind of action where you want to conclude or by requesting or saying something that you want to desire. So there are these points that are related to your body of the letter. First one, if you have a look at this one, the first one, and get it right to the point from the first sentence. When you read a novel, you expect to have the background information and before the story starts. When you read a business letter, you expect to be told immediately what will happen. Remember, your reader doesn't have any time to wait through a long letter. A short letter would be very convenient for the recipient, because the recipient should be or would be a very busy person. This part, usually a short paragraph, anything too long will cause the reader to lose patience, and ultimately they would lose interest. Second part of the body, this is the bread and the butter of the letter. It explains the information you are giving, or explain what you want the recipient to do. It doesn't need to be elaborate, but it does not need to include all the information the recipient needs. So if you have a lot of information, break it down into short paragraphs and make a list or refer to an attachment underlining essential information in one way to highlight the key info points to your readers. So your letter should be organized to help the recipient understand what you want or what to know, what to do. Third point, this is the first this, like the first paragraph, is usually a short paragraph in writing classes. It is called as clincher, not a bad way to remember the function. So depending upon the purpose of your letter, it will do one of the three things. First, will it will conclude. Second, it will make a request or action. Third, it will thank the reader to take any kind of prompt action that you want. So you have to follow these patterns, or you have to follow these particular essential details in order for you to transact any kind of successful communication that you intend to undertake. In many ways, methods of writing a business letter is like the rule of the thumb for giving a speech. Tell them what you are going to talk about it. Tell them what you talked about. The following sample letter, you can see that this is the sample letter. You can read about it, and you can see that how thank you for your conscious service. All 15 of your last consignments have arrived. So over here you have included the background information. Then in the next paragraph, you have enlisted all the detail that you want related to your shipment and all the other essential details. And in the last one, you are you see that how you are concluding this particular letter by telling us, and you can see that we are confident in referring our customers and vendors to Terrace Stocking for their shipping needs. So you can have a look at this particular letter as a sample. So we are going to stop over here in this particular session. We talked about four consideration of composing a business letter. First one was subject, second one was audience, third one is purpose, and the fourth one is subject, style, or organization of that particular letter. So if you have any query, question, you can ask that in the comment section below. For I'm going to sign off from this particular session. So stay happy and stay blessed.